Hello and welcome to F1 2016 season, Hungary. Apologies for not having any Silverstone footage. I went to press save at the end and just had a grey button, so there was no footage to save apparently, which is rather strange. I mean, I got qualifying, but that's about it. Anyway, round 10, I think it's round 10. Into qualifying now. It was a clear one-stop race, so start on the soft tyre. Took as little as possible out of them on the outlet, and here we go. Overcast conditions here today, so the track's not at its best, but we'll deal with it. Open the DRS, good run out into the straight. You can see we gained time on our previous lap. Got to spot the braking for turn 1. Little off the apex, which gives us a bit of oversteer there, and we've dropped a heck of a lot of time. I mean, it's half a 10 when I could have made up half a 10. Tucked nicely into this left-hander, dropping down now. Coming towards turn 4, important not to cut it, and we're 10th down, so not impressed. Got that pretty much perfect. Turn 5 now, short shift in, rotate the back end. Tricky little chicane here, avoid these curves as much as you can. I've hit the one on the inside, managed to just go over the one on the other side as well, but we've lost time there again. Short shift there, keep the back end in check. Jeff again, I mean, he's just got perfect timing, isn't he? Downshift into the final sector now. We are purple, we are fastest of anyone. Down to second gear, rotate the car again, stay away from that exit curb. Coming into here, you don't really want to lock it up. Got through there cleanly, nice clean exit now. Fight in the back end, now we're green. Nice wide entry into here, get the traction. We just had a little kick of oversteer there, which has lost us some time, but overall it's a pretty good lap. I mean, 1 or 2 tenths as usual, but that's the way it is. Retire here to the left hand side, or to the right hand side, sorry, and make sure we don't get in anyone's way. This is how the race director looks at the moment. Spike's gone out and done a 20.2 on the supers. I do expect him to go quicker, but you know, I've retired. I didn't even mean to retire; it just happened. So used to doing it. Spike's gone back out now on his second set of super softs, probably just to make sure he's got a cleaner set for the race. Maybe pushed his other ones too hard. So here we go. I'm looking at the race director again. He's got faster sectors than me, so he's the fastest man on track. So you know, this should be a pretty good lap. Should come off this now. Coming into the middle sector. He's taking turn 4 nicely, coming into turn 5. You should hear my reaction there. Oh, he's on wide, he's touched the curb, he's on the grass, he's in the wall! Yeah, so unfortunately Spike choked a little bit at the curb and that's it. But he's still on pole, still with a quick time. Starting from P2, you can definitely do worse than that for me. Yeah, as I said, it's a one-stop, but Jeff doesn't think a one-stop's possible, so that's what I have to deal with at the moment. So I know from like lap 26, he's just going to be saying, box this lap, box this lap, box this lap, just chatting absolute crap. Dropping the fuel as well, very easy to save fuel around here. It's much easier to have a lighter car than a heavier car. It's not really much to gain from running rich revs. Obviously just on the straights, but that's such a small amount of the lap. It's mostly time to be gained in the Mickey Mouse middle sector, so that's what the strategy is looking like. Starting in P2, I'm hoping for good things. I'm debating whether, you know, thinking about maybe fighting Spike, and ultimately I just want to sit behind him, to be honest with you, and wait till he pits and then try and stretch a gap, save my tyres, because I know one stop's touch and go, but it's doable, and about 15 seconds quicker, 20 seconds quicker than a 2-stop. So formation lap, again, just a formality, following Spike, make sure I don't use too much of my tyres and keep the fuel use low as well. Coming onto the grid now. I'm ready for lights out. Lights out, away we go. Got a second, didn't jump as well as Spike, but I got the second phase of the start was better than him. But in the slipstream now, I'm possibly looking for a move down into turn 1. He's left the door open. He's going to try and hold it on the outside, try and get a better exit than me. Oh, it's nice and close. So at this point I want to squeeze him to the left to make sure he can't completely run me off the road. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, so I've opened the steering and let him back through. No time lost, so we'll just sit behind him now. Plan B, we'll just sit behind him, wait for him to pit. I'm happy to do that. Just conserve tyres, conserve fuel, make sure I'm not vulnerable on the straight. Going into this middle sector now, we know Spike's got more grip than us. He's on those supers, but they will wear quickly. But at the moment, you know, he's quicker. Just got to stick with him, stay in the slipstream, make sure Kyle can't have us either. Spike wants to push now. He wants to try and build a gap to make sure he can cover me because he's doing a two-stop. So all I'm trying to do is stick with him. So he's picked up a couple of tenths in that middle sector. You can see from my angle it looks like he's locking up all the time, but he's probably nowhere near locking up. But it does show he's on the limit of braking when he's doing that. It's just that, you know, Codemasters can't properly code a game, so it just looks like he's locking up everywhere. That's not Spike's style. But here we go, coming onto the straight now. I'm in the slipstream, looking back. I've got a decent gap to Kyle. Purple in the last sector. I'm just taking it easy now. I just want to stick with Spike until he pits, essentially. I'm not looking to overtake him at all. You know, he may be weaving to break the slipstream, but I have no intention of overtaking him until, you know, lap 5, 6, 7 when he needs to pit. So his car is dancing around a little bit, though. You know, you can see we're a bit more composed than him. I suppose that we're just because we're following and he's pushing pretty hard, but. Coming into turn 4 now, we've actually gone purple ourselves because it's a second lap. Jeff and his perfect timing. I know I'm low on fuel, that's the idea, Jeff, thanks. Middle sector now. Spike just clips the exit curve, but we clip the exit curve as well, but we still get a better exit. We're starting to close up here. You know, I didn't expect this. I expected to just stick with Spike. I'm not pushing at the moment, you know. Standard lean, standard revs, but, you know, we just want to stick with him, stick in the DRS, save our fuel, make sure that we're away from Kyle, but Spike has a massive moment there on the exit. No idea how he kept that at the wall. And at this point I'm thinking, well, he's holding me up now. I'm in the dirty air. He's wearing my tyres more than they need to be worn. So I decided at this point, you can see I've already gone into rich mix to try and take him down the straight. So at this point he's gone wide into the first corner to try and come back. But I'm tighter still, so my exit is straight. He's touched the curb, but he's almost lost it. Oh my goodness, we're in the slipstream. Set the fastest lap for good measure. Down the inside now, we've cleared him, but we still leave him space, and he's going to try and stick around the outside and get better traction than us. Side by side now, he's a car length behind, he tucks back into the slipstream. I'm keeping it in standard at the moment. I knew he was going to dive up the inside. Left enough space, there's a car's width there. Oh, he's nudged me. I opened the steering, he's now back on my outside. One line through here, still left him space, and he's backed out of it. He looks to make a move into this corner, but, you know, he's wiser than that. Spike's a fantastic racer, he's not going to make that mistake. Oh, he's low for the inside. Oh, no, we've covered that off. Just checking behind now to see how far back he is. Now we need to pull a gap to avoid DRS. Coming into this last sector now, we've pulled a tenth or two, but he's still right behind us. We need to pull a gap to try and get out of this DRS, try and break the slipstream and pull away from Spike, because at the moment he's still got more pace because he's on the super softs. To make this strategy work, we don't need to be battling, we need to be just driving that at our own pace. So here we go. He's had a massive moment again coming out the last corner. As you can see, he's offline, so that gap is almost 6 tenths. We're almost out of the way of DRS, but they both will have had it. Spike and Kyle will both have had it last lap. So I'm going to push now for this lap. First sector, look, we have 4 tenths. Spike's caught up a little bit, so now really need to pull our finger out here and try and break this slipstream, because if we don't, then we're in trouble. So we spot our braking nicely into the chicane, absolutely nail that. Look at the exit we've got there in lean mix as well. Making sure we don't run wide here, just nailing the curves. Don't run on that exit curve, you're going to lose the back end. So here we go. One of the fastest gunners on the track. Absolutely nailed it. Gap is now 6 tenths, so we've almost doubled it. Don't need that, mate. Rob's having some chatter in the background, so I've asked him to shut that, whoever that was, up. Because I'm absolutely sweating it here. This is, you know, I'm really pushing hard. Without destroying the tyres, I'm pushing, you know, 90% here. Trying to build a gap. Nice exit here up into rich mix. What's the gap? What's the gap? Does he have DRS? 1.0. We've broken DRS. So here we go. Replay of the start. As you can see, Spike gets a better jump than me, but in the second phase I've had a bit less wheel spin. I'm just edging over to get in front of Crazy, and he's left the door open and just down the inside. So at this point here he's got slightly better traction, being on a less compromised line. I stay to the middle of the road to make sure that he's sort of giving him a bit of a hard time. Bit of contact there, so I've opened the steering and just let him back through. So slow-mo at the start, look at the reaction here. Spike's jumped a good 10th or so before me, but then I've got a better run in first gear. Spike's fishtailing a little, and I'm just edging over to cover Crazy off and tuck into the slipstream. I check behind me now to make sure I'm in front, and that's enough to just get in front there. Cutting back to end of lap 9, start lap 10. Spike pitted a few laps ago. He pitted lap 6, I think. Kyle's just pitted now and come back out on the soft tyre, so we know we need to start pushing a little bit harder now, checking the tyre wear to make sure that we don't get jumped. And Rob makes a load of noise with his mic. Not distracting at all. He got up and locked his door.
I could jump up quickly and shut my door, lock it.
So, very, very thankful to Rob for locking his door there, because these guys were coming in and out and distracting him, so bit unfortunate for him. Then he lost the place to Kyle, so Kyle's had him there. But yeah, very thankful to Rob for helping me out there and just locking his door and stopping people from distracting us. But as you can see, our tyre wear is pretty bad. I mean, about where we expected to be, really. But there we go, I've made the decision. I was going to go for another lap, but I would have just lost time pushing 70% on the front left. It's not worth it, really. So here we go into the pits now. We need a good stop. No Maze is going to get us. I mean, we pulled 5 seconds on Maze, but Kyle is still quite close. We've hit the mark as well. Come on, Williams, give us a good stop. 2.8. Are you having a laugh?
Okay, I'm out of the box, mate.
That's me telling Rob. But DHL fastest pit stop award for the fastest pit stops all year in 2016, and they were a second faster than that consistently. But here we go. Where are we going to come out in comparison to Kyle? He's right there. He's going to go for the cutback, but I've kept it tight, short shifted well to rotate the car. He hasn't had the best exit. Covering the inside now because he could go for the lunge. No, he's too far back. At this point now, I need to build a gap to Kyle, essentially.
When
just to
come out, don't go 100% on the tyres straight away.
That's just,
you want about 3% wear a lap to get to the end with pace.
There we go, so that's the maths I'm trying to work out. Towards the end of the race now, if I do 3% a lap, I'm going to be below 70% at the end, so there's no risk of a puncture. Because, you know, anywhere above 70 you can get a puncture. Could be 80, could be 90, but you never know. At 70%, that's where you get a little warning up saying, hey, look, pal, you need to pit now. So anywhere around 70 or above, you're going to get a puncture. Just depends how lucky you are on the day. Car's behind me now. He knows how his mediums feel. I'm fresh on the mediums. See me just fucking that up there. But we've pulled 2/10 on Kyle. That's all we've pulled. So now we know that he's going to be in DRS and this straight, and we're going to be vulnerable to him. Depending on what wings he's running, we could be very vulnerable. So here we go. Trying to straighten the car for best acceleration out here. Nice short shift. Here we go. He's quite far back actually. You know, he's picked up another 10th. We picked up another 10th in that last sector and broke the slipstream a little bit, but he's nowhere near us. So going into this corner now, we need to get a good exit again to make sure he doesn't come back on us, and his hour disappears. So we're all right. Managed to pull a small gap on Kyle, keeping it at 2 seconds, but we're chasing down Maze now, who started on the medium tyres. So these are crying. His tyres are crying now. 15 laps in. Just catching up to him now, 6/10 behind. I mean, I know I'm trying to size him up for a move on the straight now. DRS, easy pass. But thankfully he pits, so gives us DRS and pulls off. So very kind of Maze there. So here we go now. We've got DRS, Kyle's behind us. The gap is, well, we set the fastest lap of the race, but the gap is just under a second. So Kyle is still in DRS. So we need to push again, make sure Kyle's out of DRS, and then we're safe. So on this lap now, lap 16, this will be our fastest lap of the race. A bit of a scruffy turn 1. There we go, coming into turn 2. It's not so bad. Turn 3. Nice, didn't scrub much speed off. Coming up to the middle sector now, dropping it down to standard, don't want to lose the back end. We're almost 3/10 up. We've managed to pull enough of a gap for DRS on Kyle in that first sector, so coming to the last sector now, we're 9/10 up. Gap is 1.7. gonna make sure this is all neat and tidy now. Little wide here because we were too tight on entry. Looking to get a really good exit out of this last corner now. Oh, a little bit of a lift, try and get the rotation going. So we lost a little bit of time there, but here we go, heading to the line, and it's a 1:22.6. So that's a good lap. Gap to Kyle now is 2 seconds, so that's pretty much where I want it to be. So, but he's dropped it to 1.9 on that lap. So at the moment I'm thinking, okay, so I need to conserve my tyres. I need to have 3% wear a lap, which I'm currently 1% over. But I need a 2-second gap to Kyle to make sure if I make a mistake or cut a corner somewhere that I have enough time. So gap to Kyle was 1.9 over the line. I know that I need to pull out a couple of tenths on this lap just to even it back up to 2 seconds. I'm happy with 2 seconds. There we go, 2.6. Then it's 2.0. So it's up and down all the time. We have our strengths and weaknesses in different places around the track. So I just need to capitalize on his weaknesses, and he's trying to capitalize on my weaknesses. So I seem to be faster in the first sector. Oh no, sorry, Kyle seems to be faster in the first sector. I seem to be faster in the middle, and then the last is sort of nip and tuck. So again, with this, I'm still trying to keep my wear at about 3% a lap. So it's really tricky. I'm trying to sort of push and not push. So I'm driving at around 70% here to try and pull out a gap. Push any more, you're going to start scrubbing the front tyres, and that's what I don't need. Coming to the last sector, the gap was around 2 seconds again, but you know, you want to have the confirmation of going over the line. So here we go. Going over the line now, we're just going to look at what the gap is. It's 2.4. So I'm happy with that. We've managed to pull out half a second. Then again, it drops to 1.9. So I'm trying to take it easy on my tyres and just keep it nice. But there we go, 2 seconds, so I'll pull it back out. Carl's trying to catch me up. So I've got to make this one stop work. So gap drops now to 1.5. So Kyle's really pushing, which means he must be coming up.
Kyle
for his pit
has
stop.
pitted.
There we go. So Kyle's pitted. I'm still now 10 laps to go. Decent gap to Kyle, who comes out on the softs. Just keep it on the track, really. That's all we're looking for. Just keep it on the track. No penalties, no nothing. Yellow flag.
I've got a yellow flag. Crazy's going to retire, mate. I think. Be ready for a safety car.
Coming up behind George now. First lap car of the race. And very kind of him, he moves over very, very early. Very, very kind. But you know, at this point,
I've cleared George.
There we go, cleared George. I'm worried about a safety car because you keep having yellow flags. There we go, yellow flags. They keep coming up.
We could have a retirement here, mate.
Crazy is having a bit of a nightmare. And I'm worried that there could be a safety car, because if there is, you know, it crushes my lead. I'd be pitting for supers and I'd be going back on. But Crazy, yeah, he moves out the way again there. Okay, so coming on lap 31, Maze is pitted and sets a blinder of a lap, 122 flat. Lap 33, we've got another yellow flag. I don't know what's going on. That's crazy. He's off again. I'm so worried about there being a safety car that I'm just sort of hawking at the map all the time. Jeff's still telling me to pit. Look, lap 34 now, another yellow flag. Look in the first sector. And when someone retires, the yellow flag tends to follow them until they pull off the circuit. So I'm at this point, there won't be a safety car because it's the last lap. You never know, because it's a Codemasters game. Anything could happen. You know, cars could go flying. You know, you can't risk it. Lap 35, I'm so busy watching the yellow flag on the map, I've missed my braking point and hopped over the curb. First mistake of the race. But yeah, I'm so busy watching that yellow that I'm, you know, not concentrating. Tyre wear's up as high as 65 on the front left now, but it's the last lap. Coming into the last corner now. Tyre wear's on 67, we've done it. 3% a lap, easily achieved. Gap was 10 seconds. And that was a really, really good race. I really enjoyed it. Got pushed all of the way, but you know, just an intelligent drive really. It was quite difficult to keep the gap and not wear the tyres, but managed it in the end. This is Rob, my teammate. He's on the same strategy, but it just hasn't worked out for him. A couple of incidents and he lost track position, which is what you need. This is the whole point of having the one stop with the track position, and just because the incidents he lost it, and then of course he's on the back foot then because he's on older tyres than everyone else. So the goat's taking him on the last lap, and he's just going to stick with him in case he's got a penalty or not, which is I think what I say in a second. But no, anyway, yeah, he wanted to stay with him to see if he had a penalty or not, and he didn't in the end. So big gutting for Rob, but
No, he didn't have penalties.
there we go. these are the results. Again, just about a 10-second gap. Really enjoyed the race. Tractor Man having a, not his usual showing with 6 seconds of penalties, but there we go. A small turnout today. Would have been more exciting with the bigger grid that we have on the list, but I'm happy to win it anyway. 25 points is 25 points and keeps me in the lead of the championship. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.